So I was having a conversation last night with a Christian about a verse that says, "Think not that I come to bring peace, but a sword." And they were saying, but they see the word sword as meaning division or to divide. And the problem is, it is, first of all, sword. It is not a literal sword. It is a metaphorical sword. But what Christians so often, and I find Christians more so than any group I ever conversate with, they don't understand particular literary motifs. So they don't understand like antithetical pairing motifs that happen repetitively. Antithetical pairing motifs happen in Hebrew literature, they happen in Greek literature, they happen in modern literature. So this is something that regularly happens, that someone makes a statement of a thing and then the antithesis of the thing, and they use them as a contrast of scale, or they use them as just an oppositional ideal from one another. So they might say love and hate, or curses and blessings, like in Deuteronomy we'll use this. And this happens over and over. This antithetical pairing is what it's referred to. So what this particular verse is an antithetical pairing. And if you start with peace, think not that I've come to bring peace, but a sword, then the sword is got to be a metaphor or a stand-in for the antithesis of peace, which is not divide or division. It's conflict. I mean, you could even see it as war in some sense. But let's keep it milder than that and just say that Jesus was using it as conflict. That's fine. Then at least understand it inside of that context and not try to water it down or make it something less. This is something that happens all the time with Christians, more than any group I've ever run into. They will take an antithetical pairing and they don't like the pairing side, so they try to change it into something that it's not even antithesis anymore. It happens such as in Isaiah, I think it's in 45, where that will say that I create good and evil, or that God creates good and evil. And they'll say, well, this word in the Hebrew, really, it can mean calamity also. It can be translated as calamity or evil. Yeah, it could. The reason that we know that it's evil and not calamity is because it is an antithesis. These are used as an antithetical pairing. So this is a literary practice that happens over and over. And what happens is when Christians see it and they don't like the implication of the secondary, then they wind up changing it, or they try to water it down. This happens again in Romans, where Paul's writing and he says that he hates, that he loves Jacob but hates Esau. And they want, oh, well, he didn't hate, he just loved less. No, it hated. Because hate is the antithesis of. This is how this literary motif is working. And you're trying to disable it because you have your own ideologies and theologies that you're bringing to the text, and you're imposing those theologies or those ideologies onto the text, and you're imposing your moral framework onto those texts, then rather than understanding them as their literary construction. Stop doing that. This text, like many others, it is an antithesis. And the reason that you can tell so easily that Christians have such an unbelievable problem with this is I've asked many Christians, and maybe perhaps you can do it yourself if you're watching this video, to finish this sentence. Go therefore into the highways and preach the gospel. Now, what was the word that's missing there? Many of them will answer that the word is byways. Go into the highways and byways. This is completely incorrect. That would make absolutely no sense whatsoever. The word that is actually in the Bible, and this is argued to be a Mandela effect, but the word is not byways, it's hedges, because highways are representative of the highly traveled, and hedges are representative of the not traveled at all. So this is an antithesis, and people will say, oh, the highways and the byways. This is completely illogical. This would not be an antithetical pairing. It would make no sense to just repeat this thing and stronger this thing. So this alone shows that they regularly misunderstand this particular literary motif. Happens all the time. You need to study these subjects and do better on them. That's all I had to say.